hello YouTube. So, it's about a fortnight, more or less, since I've had a bike out. I had this one out for about 10 minutes on Thursday, just to pop into town, but that don't really count. Just convenience was that. A proper bike ride. The last time I did one was when I went up to where did I go? Well, I went up Rosedale with Mark, and I just haven't been well enough to get the bike out. I do not know what the hell's been wrong with me. I've never known that like it. I've had a month. It started off like a cold, and I was coughing like a broken-winded horse, and decided in the end that was bronchitis, which took about a fortnight for me to shake that off. And typically I got an appointment with the doctor, and it took so long to see the doctor, I actually got better before I went to see him, so I cancelled the appointment, or at least I thought I had. And then about 8 hours after I cancelled the appointment, I started getting a prickle in the back of my throat again. Sort of like, I thought, oh Christ, the sore throat's coming back. No, it didn't come back. What came back was just overwhelming. It was fatigue. There's no other word for it. Absolutely. I went out and did a little job for Judy, putting a quilt out to air, because she can't lift her arms up since she had her operation on her chest. So she finds it really difficult to lift her arms above her head. So, will you put this on the line for me, Grim? Yeah, okay, love. It was a nothing job. Well, come in the house, I was sweating like I don't know what, and I flopped in a chair. I went to sleep. And she said, after about 15 minutes, she woke me up and she said, are you alright? I said, yeah, I think I am. Coughing a bit, like, but you know. Anyway, this has gone on now. Well, long story short, today is the first day I've done anything and not felt this overwhelming, all this horrible fatigue that I've been getting. I still feel a bit, still got this funny thing going on in the back of my throat, and I still feel a bit chesty, but overall, I definitely feel a bit better. I've been messing in the garden and, you know, all sorts of bits and pieces. But I've sort of done a little bit of work, sat down, done a little bit more work, went to the garden centre, got some plants, had a cup of tea, you know, but I've just been doing it in little bits. So anyway, long story short, it's now 6:30. I've only been out once since the light nights came. That's how rough I've been. I just haven't had the energy or the strength. So in the end, I got quite depressed about it. In the end, I thought, oh, bugger this. Chuck the blankets on the bikes and put them away for a bit and just forget about them. And luckily, I had a couple of films that I could put on my channel, but I've used the last one now. So let's hope that's the end of it. Anyway, I've been watching bits and pieces on the internet, and one of the things I watched was, you know, this Bangers and Cash that they do at the car showrooms in Thornleydale. I can't remember the name, it's gone out my head, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, they did a bit about the sale of motorcycles, specifically, you know, the old 40s, 50s, 60s stuff, and then what's now becoming classic, 70s, 80s. And they were saying they're having great difficulty selling old British bikes, because the old lads who rode them are dying out. I mean, like, take for example me, I started in 83 on a C70. I've never ridden anything but Japanese bikes. I've never even had a German bike, they've all been Japanese. The only foreign European bikes I've ridden have been either loaners or stuff we had at work. But I've never actually owned a BM or KTM or Guzzi. You know, it's always been Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, Kawasaki. That's it. That's my background. And as you know, I got this bike in September, about 8th of September last year. 2023 CL500 Black Edition, and it cost me £6,100 cash. Anyway, I thought, I was bored, I had nothing to do. I thought I'll just see, because I did seriously think when I was feeling poorly, maybe I ought to jack it in with the bikes. Maybe it's just my age, you know. But anyway, I made a few inquiries about the price of these bikes second hand, specifically CL500. I looked on Motorcycle News website, and they're saying low price 4,300, top price second hand 5,600, which I think is, well, good luck with that one. They might get it in a dealership, but I don't think we will get it as a private sale. Anyway, so then I made an inquiry with everybody's favourite rip-off merchants, WeBuyAnyBike.com. I've been down this road before, so I knew what was coming, because when I was going to trade the NT, I got them to give me a price, which was a bloody joke. But anyway, I got the price. It was ridiculous. There were complete chances. So bear in mind, this bike's 9 months old, cost 6,100. WeBuyAnyBike.com said, "Oh, we'll give you $3,000 for it." So then they sent me an email. Are you impressed with our offer? So I sent them a very impolite email back. So, are you having a bloody laugh? £3,000? But then I started thinking about... nearly went wrong way. Then I started thinking about I wish I could remember. Bangers and Cash, we'll call them that, shall we? What they were saying about they're finding it hard to sell bikes. They're not selling well, and there's quite a few stories I've read in the press, the national, local motorcycling press, which says that it's all collapsing. There's threats to KTM going bust, there's threats to Harley Davidson going bust, and so on and so on. I mean, there's car companies like Nissan who look like they might get bought out by Honda, and it's a right old mess. And apparently a lot of these dealerships, so I understand, this is third party information, are getting landed with more stock than they can sell. You know, the manufacturers are piling it on them. So I just sort of got to thinking, I wonder, oh, they've gritted down here. Good job, it's a scrambler. I just got to thinking, maybe that's why WeBuyAnyBike.com offered me such a low price, £3,000. I'm not selling the bike, so don't start, hyperventilating. I'm not selling it. I was bored. I do all sorts of weird things when I'm bored. And Chris on the Brown Saddles website that we share with the lads we go riding with, Chris Brownbill said, "Don't sell it, chuck a blanket over it and forget about it." I said, "Don't panic, Chris, I'm not selling it, don't panic." But I must admit, last week, I did wonder if I would ever get on the bike again, but anyway, here we are. Yeah, so what do you think? Do you think it's coming to an end? Do you think it'll all fall down like a house of cards? I definitely think that, I was about to say that the smaller bikes seem to be the better sellers, and having talked to the lads at Miles's, they sort of said, look, if we don't sell the little bikes, which is our bread and butter, forget about the big bikes. And I was looking on their website this morning. They are absolutely snowed under with NT 1100s, Africa Twins, big capacity bikes. And I might have got this completely wrong, but it appears to me that what they're actually selling is, the 500s and the novelty 300s. By that I mean things like, these SH 350s, and they seem to go really well. Lots of scooters, mopeds, and when you see on a weekend, they quite often show you the bikes they've sold in the previous week, and the vast majority of them are sub 750s. There's a few big bikes, but the majority of the bikes they sell are the smaller bikes. So maybe that's the way motorcycling needs to go. I must admit, buying my 500 has been a complete revelation. But I'm talking as a 70-year-old man. I'm sure if I was still in my 40s, I'd be looking at the big tourers, and I'd be my strength and everything. And good luck to those of you who've just bought new adventure bikes, and I hope you have many happy miles on them. But for me, yeah, I'm doing alright with this. I finally worked out, by the way, what I'd done wrong with the screen. I couldn't understand why it was so high. I took that stupid that daft little screen, I took that off. It looked stupid. I wanted the screen only to be sort of so. And what I'd done is I'd put the mounts in the wrong place. They're in the right place now. I don't know if you can see that. I had them up here. And the other thing was I had the mounts, they were back to front. So it was giving it an unnatural stance and picking the screen up. So I took it all to bits again. I had a look at the one on the monkey bike because that looks fine. And I thought, well, you know, I've got that right. So what have I done wrong with this other bike? And then when I really had a proper look at it, I thought, oh, hang on a minute, it's obvious what I've done. You know when they say if a thing looks right, it is right. And it didn't look right. The moment I turned, I'll pull up, and I've got a car behind me, and I'll let you see what I'm talking about. Just get in the shadows when you're able to see what I'm showing. Let him go. Now then. Can you see here? They're a lot lower. They're about, what's that? Maybe 3 inches lower. And this top now is below, it's the same height just as the top of my mirrors, whereas before it was up here. Coming down the road there 50 miles an hour, ordinarily it would have been, even on a really calm evening like this, it would have been, that's the noise you hear when you crash helmet. Coming down there now, I've got a little bit of a slope on this screen, and it's completely free mounted. It's not touching anything down here like it used to do, and it's 80% better than it was. It's much improved. It's about, I read an article, somebody said they'd had the same problem as me, and they said you definitely got to you mustn't have the screen too upright. It causes really bad turbulence. It's got to be sort of, I don't know, I don't want to get too clever about it, but it's something to do with, you know, it's got to have a bit of aerodynamics. So it's more like a wing. Then I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's got to allow the air to flow across it. It mustn't resist the air and force it up. And also air's got to come underneath here at the bottom. Anyway, that's one vlog done. I might get a second one out before I get to Driffield. I do hope you enjoyed this Tower of Babel, as Richard calls it. And from Brands Burton in East Yorkshire, I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye for now. Ta-ta!
There goes Graham on the mighty CL.